Welcome to Art's Place, conservative talk from a different view, from the Casablanca studio in Golden, Colorado. Hosted by Art Carlson. At 4'6", liberals fear him, and conservatives love him. He's definitely a giant among men. Now here's your host, Art Carlson.
Welcome to another episode of Art's Place, conservative talk from a different view. We've got a great show today. Lots to talk about. We're going to talk about the shooting at Oxford High School in Oxford Township, Michigan. And then we'll talk about the Supreme Court case hearing an abortion case out of Mississippi. So that'll be interesting. And also I need the Omicron variant. Yes, we have another variant of the coronavirus, the Omnicron variant, which is finally has made it here to the U.S. And here in Colorado, one person has been found to have it. So we'll talk about that, and then we'll close out the show with Chris Cuomo. He's in hot water. Will he still be working at CNN? Stay tuned and let's get this show going. Get back here, and I it, it may be a short show because none of my other co-hosts are here. Mike Roach can't make it because he's feeling kind of under the weather, not sleeping very well. So I told him, don't worry about it, get some rest, my friend, and we'll see you next week. Also, Lloyd, he's not ready to come on. I don't see him ready to come in, so something must be tying him up. I have no idea what is going on there. So, hey, I want to say hello to Chris Wedgeworth. Welcome to the show. Good to see you. All right, let's get this show going. Uh, yes, on November 30th, we had a shooting at Oxford High School in Oxford Township, Michigan, which is 40 miles northwest of Detroit. I went to high school in Michigan, and I'm a little closer to Oxford. I'm probably maybe 20 miles away from Oxford, and it's a nice little town. And boy, what a sad event happened. It's the Unfortunately, the death toll is now at four. Four people have died. I will tell you. Let's see. We have Hannah St. Juliana, 14. Madison Baldwin, 17. Tate Meyer, 16. And then there was another uh, female in her teens, I think about 15 or so. She passed away just recently. And so what happened was a 15-year-old sophomore uh, came into school and just started shooting people. And so it'll be interesting to find out what his motives were. Was he being bullied, or maybe he, suffers from schizophrenia or something? Because here's what happened. His father purchased this handgun, I think just several days prior to the shooting. Uh, he passed the background exam and all that stuff. Um, However, the boy and his mother were out at a shooting range shooting the pistol. So the parents now have been charged with, uh, I guess, aggravated assault or felony assault. So they're in hot water. Uh, so they'll have to explain how their son uh, got a hold of this gun and took it to school. So there was one text message where the school called the parents, and the mother texts her son saying, "Hey, we just got a call. Not mad at you, but next time you are looking up ammunition on your cell phone, just be a little careful." LOL. So that was kind of weird about that. Let's say hello to Mike B, aka the Drone Ranger. Welcome to the show. And and so that's what's happening. A very sad day in Oxford, Michigan. Um, don't know what's going on. You know, when I was that age, we never thought about taking a gun to school. Uh, I hate to say it, in my day, we either got stoned on marijuana or we snuck some alcohol from the folks' liquor cabinet, and we just kind of, you know, dealt with it that way. But that's a whole different generation, and it's just so sad. I you know, this whole world has got a lot of anger, and it goes back to uh, education and how the education system is, you know, bringing some of this anger by uh, telling the kids how evil those people that don't have the same values. You know, if they're conservative, they're wrong-headed, and uh, they're evil people. So, and that's what sets up this divide. You're right, Mike. You are responsible for your minor children's action until they're 18. That is so true, so true. And I mean, you just look at the last 4 years of the Trump administration, where you have people in Congress advocating for harassing cabinet members of the president. I mean, this kind of crap never happened to other presidents. Uh, I don't recall any Republican or conservatives saying, you know, if you see a Democrat out there, a member of Congress, go harass them. You know, and that's how just how how bad things have gotten. Uh, just so much hate and division from these people, and it makes it harder and harder to work with these people uh, in legislature, because you know they look at you as an evil person. I have a friend. He's conservative like me, and he's friends with Democrat members of the state legislature or county commissioner, and I go, Rick, you gotta watch these people because they hate your guts, because they don't like what you believe in, and but that's how he rolls. He just says, you know, you gotta be cordial to these people, but it's hard to do that when they have such strong negative views about your views. Yep, yep, that's right, Mike. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And I mean, you just watch the media, how they just spewed this hatred, you know, just making up crap about the person. How about that comedian, Kathy Griffin with the severed head of Donald Trump and the knife in her other hand. It's just like, come on, you got to be bigger than that. It's just crazy, and so we'll see how all this unfolds with the kid and the parent. So it's a sad, sad situation. Alrighty, so let's go on to our next topic. The Supreme Court just picked up a case where they're hearing arguments over the Mississippi law that bans abortion after 15 weeks, which is a direct challenge to Roe v. Wade. And now, uh, this is my personal opinion. I don't believe in abortion. There are some exceptions, like the health of the mother or uh, what the child is like, you know, doesn't, they don't expect him to live very long. Even that, I'm kind of on the edge because you don't know how that individual's going to turn out, uh, what kind of life they're going to have. So, but my personal belief is it should be up to the states to legislate the abortion. And that's what it should have been in the first place. And, you know, Sotomayor, she's talking about now we're politicizing this. Well, it was already politicized when this came on the scene. And even the late Justice Ginsburg said that it was bad law. It was bad ruling because even she said it should be up to the states to determine whether abortion is legal or illegal. And it should be back to uh, the legislature. And if the people want to make it legal, they could elect people that'll keep it legal. Or if they don't, uh, so it should go all the way back to the people to decide what it should be. So have the Supreme Court, overstep its boundaries because Supreme Court is not supposed to legislate laws. It's supposed to uh, uphold and make sure that the laws don't overstep uh, the individual liberty of people. So, and that is my opinion. And they've already done a survey to where they say that if this is overturned, there are already 26 states that outlaw abortion. Like, so it should be up to the legislature where they could set the boundaries, like a total ban on late term abortion, which I am just totally against. But it should be up to the state. I know I'm sounding like a broken record, and it should be up to them to set the boundaries of what abortion should be legal or illegal, whether it's for incest or rape. So it's kind of a hard, really tough subject to talk about, and I would rather have it done that way, where uh, and leave it at that. So that's what's going on there. Oh, Lloyd's messaging me, and we shall see. Oh, Lloyd fell asleep. no kid. All right, Lloyd. We'll wait for him, and hopefully he'll pop in and help save me from talking so much. So I'll tell him to come on in. So wow, we're down to one person watching. Oh boy, evidently, well, I mean, this is kind of a touchy subject to talk about, and and that's why I wanted to have Lloyd come in and talk about it. Oh, right. All right. Lloyd said he'll be in about 4 minutes. Hopefully, I could hang on now. All right. So let's, when Lloyd comes back, we'll talk about these other topics. Let's go on to the Omnicron variant. So now it looks like a lot of these Mike Roach, he hasn't been sleeping well, so I told him to get some rest, and hopefully he'll feel better tomorrow. So, yeah, he's taking a sick day. That's right, Chris. So we got an Omnicron variant came out of South Africa. So all of a sudden, uh, all of these governments around the world are banning travel from South Africa. Hmm. Hmm. That sounds kind of racist, don't it? I mean, remember when Trump did that about China and they kept calling him a, res- a, a racist or a xenophobe? You know, so we got our first case here in Colorado, a person who had traveled to South Africa, and from what I've been hearing is this variant is like compared to Delta variant, it is pretty darn mild. So maybe this is a good sign that if there are any other variants that come along, maybe they'll be less and less virulent or milder in symptoms. So, uh, but I would love to see the statistics and compare the coronavirus to the flu. How many people die from the flu each year? Is the coronavirus just a little more uh, deadly, maybe to the older people and people with uh, comorbidities, like being overweight, diabetic, heart issues, respiratory issues. And that's what kind of worries me because I have respiratory issues. And and that's why I got the shots. I'm going to be getting my booster on the 13th. So that and plus I want to travel overseas. And that's another thing. A lot of these countries are shutting down again. I just heard from James from My PI Dream last night that Manila is shut down to travelers. So they're quarantining travelers all over again just when they started to open up again. And now everybody is shutting down again. And it's like, I mean, if we keep going through this is why we have a supply uh, problem because governments are shutting down airports, they're shutting down ports, and so products aren't moving around the world, getting to the manufacturers and getting to consumers, which is it's not good for the world economy. And I am worried that we are just sliding towards a, a recession here in the United States. You know, this last quarter, our GDP growth was just over 2%. We're under Donald Trump. It was 6% plus most of the time. And then when we were coming out of the shutdowns, our GDP was as high as 30%. So we're just seeing more of the same old crap that Obama did, where they're just kind of stifling the growth of the GDP with too much regulation and taxation, which is the Z variant. Well, in the Greek alphabet, there is a letter Z, and they didn't want to use that because that's the same name as the leader of China. Yeah, so, and then there's the letter Nu, and well, that kind of would sound kind of stupid. Well, we've got the new variant. Yeah, it's new. No, this is really new. This is the new virus. So, so they skipped a few letters, and now we're at Omnicron. So I'm waiting for the Zeta variant, or the, I think we've already passed the Epsilon. I'm not sure, but I'd have to talk to Lloyd as soon as he gets his butt on the channel. So it'll be interesting to see how this new variant plays out in the next few weeks. Hopefully, it's just a little bump in the road, and after the first of the year, things will start to loosen up again. But it's getting really crazy out there. And here in Colorado, there have been several counties in the Denver metro area that have mask mandates. So if you go to the grocery store, or even to a workout gym, you gotta wear a mask. I am, or if you're going to a club to watch comedy or to listen to your favorite band, you gotta wear a mask. Go to a restaurant, you gotta wear a mask. I am just so flipping over it, folks. I'm tired of this. And, it's all about control, and sadly, the county commissioners of these counties, they're all Democrats, and they're the ones that appoint the uh, health department, people to lead the health department. So, and now they want to mandate kids wearing masks at school, where the kids are the least susceptible to the coronavirus, and they're the least likely to spread the virus. And it is so minute. I mean, if it was that bad, why aren't we hearing stories of teachers coming down with the coronavirus that they caught from one of their kiddos that they were teaching? So I don't know. So that's what's going on. And now one of the drug companies, they're already working on a vaccine. Why are they calling it a vaccine? It's not a vaccine. Vaccine is something that prevents a disease. Like we've got the polio vaccine. What that do? That stop the polio virus, smallpox, mumps, measles. You know how rare mumps and measles are these days? Uh, I mean, people still get it, but it's not nearly as bad as it was back in the 40s. All right, let's welcome the ever sleepy friend of mine from Muskogee, Oklahoma. Let's welcome the effervescent Lloyd Mendenhall. Hey, Lloyd,
Hi.
you can make it.
Oh my God. I woke up, I don't know, this morning and I laid down and I hadn't even got up, but I've been up all night with I've been up on and off all night with Judy but I forgot to set my alarm. I always set my alarm on nights like that. So on my and I woke up and I looked at, oh man, I got plenty of time. It's like it's
Well,
8:30 the
you
first time.
definitely weren't watching Artville.
No, no, I wasn't. And how'd that go last night?
That went pretty good. Pretty good. We had Chuck was back. We had Jim Beauchart, and let's see who else. James, of course, was there,
Right, right.
and there was one other person. I can't remember their name, but it was a good show,
Hey, Chris.
and we
Hey.
had our first foreign winner of the
Oh,
toffee.
really? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Trevor Foose was the winner.
Oh, Trevor, excellent guy. Excellent guy.
Hmm.
He's such a nice guy, and
So I gave Rick the address, and he's going to send him a box of Instant almond toffee. Hopefully, he'll get there before Christmas. But
yeah,
yeah, that's kind of iffy.
it's going to Australia. He lives down there where my buddy Grant.
Grant?
Grant's
Oh,
yeah, Grant, Mr.
okay.
Stay Drunk. Yeah, he lives in the Adelaide area. He actually,
Oh,
which is
okay.
in
I know
South
where that
Australia.
is. Yeah, South
Yeah,
Central.
and
Yeah.
yeah, so and Grant lives in Adelaide, and so they but yeah, Trevor's I talk to him every week after Greg's show on Fridays.
Right?
So and during the week too I catch up with him, but uh yeah, thanks guys. I apologize for being late. I fell asleep. I thought, oh well, I just dozed off for a minute and I looked at a 250. Oh crap. And I realized, oh my God. And of course I had to reboot my computer, and when I did, apparently it did some updates. I'm just hoping it says now let's continue with let's now let's finish setting up your computer. And I'm going, whoa. And it said remind me in 3 days, and I thought, okay, so in 3 days I'll probably get a reminder
Very,
that
very good.
so anyways, so
All
what
right,
are you
let's go
talking
back
about
over
now?
some of the stuff that I talked about. We were talking about the shooting in Oxford, Michigan, at the high school there.
Yeah, yeah.
Your thought?
Well, I think two things. One, I think they're not going to be able to. They probably won't get a conviction on the parents
Yeah,
because
I agree.
it's two things. One, the prosecutor's trying to make brownie points as a prosecutor. Two, she's in that area. They're very emotional, and once it
Mm.
goes up to an appellate or to a judge or it gets into appellate an appellate session, they'll throw it out because there's you know the problem is they can't just bring the parents up on those charges. They need to bring the principal and the superintendent and all those involved in that meeting beforehand.
Right.
You
Hmm.
know, and
And
the
plus,
parents,
their son is being tried as an adult.
right?
Yeah, so
Yeah, I think justifiably so. I mean, but I think a lot of people screwed up on that, including the people at the school.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a tragedy. It's not something any parent wants to go through. I can't imagine, but to be persecuted like that right off the bat. Were the parents? I think this would be a civil case of
yeah,
wrongful death, and
yep,
and justifiably so. A criminal case, no. And if stupidity was a crime, we wouldn't have the guy in office at the White House right now. Okay,
yep, that's true.
this is they're stupid. And
Mhm,
you when my kids were that age, our guns were locked up or off premises. Just
mhm,
because teenage boys can do stupid crap,
yeah,
especially if they haven't been raised around guns a lot.
mhm,
Even if they have been, you've got to understand what your kids are going through. And my kids went through trauma at that age. They had the angst of a teenager, and
yeah,
uh, you know,
and
but
their frontal
it
cortex hasn't, developed fully,
hasn't
so they
developed.
can't
Yeah,
they're not
yeah,
rationalizing what's going on.
yeah. We had a shooting here in in the Muskogee County over in Fort Gibson. Kid turned 13 years old, had a birthday party. Everything was fine. Not one sign that there was a problem. Great parents, friends were over. Gets up, and that was on a Sunday. He gets up on Monday, goes out, and he starts shooting the school up before school. Hit 6 students, didn't kill any. It's the only reason it didn't make the national news is because nobody was killed. But he hit 6 students. My cousin's daughter was standing right there next to where he was shooting at, and just a bullet just she got hit in the eye off some brick because
Um,
it hit the brick, and and her friend grabbed her and tossed her to the ground. Uh, which actually, there's another story there, but that girl is also related to us, the girl that saved my niece, and they've been best friends for years. But anyways, uh, you know, it's uh, y- you know, you can't a parent can't tell what a kid's gonna do. Like I said,
right,
and this kid is out now and living a decent life. He got locked up until he was, I think, 18 or 19, as a because he was only in 7th grade. He just turned
yeah,
13, so yeah, it was the day before he turned a day after he turned 13. Something triggered that night, and boom, he was off, and he stole the gun from his parents' gun cabinet. They'd never had a problem with him as far as anybody can tell. He
mhm,
ended up getting out and living with, but in this case, this kid clearly had some issues. He needs to be tried as an adult. He knew what he was doing. He took, he took the time to reload or to swap out magazines. So, you
mhm,
know, like I said, stupidity is not punishable, but these parents were stupid. You know,
mhm,
the other thing I see going on with it is that they violated federal law, not necessarily state law, because when you go in and buy a gun, you have to they do a federal background search on you,
right,
and you have to sign statements saying that you are buying this gun for yourself.
right,
I a similar thing happened with me, in fact, and I went in and I was buying a gun. I was going to buy a gun for Judy, or I was going to update mine and give her my old one.
right,
And yeah, and so the lady asked, "Are you buying this for your wife?" I said, "Absolutely not. This is my gun. She's getting my old one." You know,
mhm,
a little bit of that. But she says, "Because if you had answered yes, I couldn't sell it to you. You'd have to bring her in and let her fill out the information. And if you buy a gun for somebody else and then it is used in a crime, then you have violated federal law, and then you can be held
yeah, that
accountable."
was a
So,
delayed reaction there.
yeah, right. But, I mean, it's a federal jurisdiction because they violated that thing, because you have to sign on there, "Is this gun being purchased for anybody else?"
Right,
If you answer no, if you answer yes, that stops the sale right there. It's supposed to. That's the
yep,
way it works. But, yeah, I'm buying a gun, like Mike B says, "I'm buying a gun for my dog." You know,
mm,
uh,
Yeah, he's a
it's
pointer.
yeah, he's a pointer, exactly. He ought to be able to point that gun just fine. But, that's where I think the prosecution is out of line because they're doing state charges and
Mhm.
they would be found guilty uh, under federal charges because they
Right.
bought the gun and it was used in the
Mhm.
commission of a crime, and that's a violation of the federal. And plus, he was under 18, and they are not allowed to own a handgun.
Yeah. Mhm.
you
Also,
know,
I mean, what does
actually, I
this
think it's under
say
21.
yeah. What does this say about, the state of the country with everybody being so angry all the time? I mean, it
Well,
goes back all the way to during the Obama administration.
yeah, I mean, it started with his. I mean, he started, in my opinion, Obama started the racial divide when a dean from some college who happened to be black gets arrested for something that he had done. Obama comes out and says they were racist. In the end, it
Mhm.
turned out the guy was a screw up and he had done something. He had done something wrong. And so Obama's answer to that was have a beer on the White House lawn. And that was the beginning of our major racial divide because by electing a black man for president, obviously we had put that aside, you know.
Mhm.
And yet, after Obama got in office, it got bigger and bigger, and it's just continued. And this
Mhm.
country is angry. We're angry over everything. And one quick thought, God, I sound like James, don't I? Anyways,
Mhm.
one quick thought. You've got two wolves. They're both hungry, or they're fighting with each other. One is despair and anger. The other one is hope and light. Which one is going to win the fight? The one you feed.
Yeah. Yep.
Believe it or not, that's a quote from a Disney movie. But that's what we've done. We're feeding the angry one because this is what the Democratic Party needs. They needed it. They thought they had control of things back in the 60s. Then it started the racial riots back then, and yet I don't know. It's just it's we're just a different society
Yeah.
than we were, and we just keep feeding anger. But okay, next topic.
Alrighty. I was talking about the Supreme Court case. They're hearing a case about abortion from
Right,
Mississippi that bans abortion, I think, after uh,
15 weeks.
15 weeks. Yep.
15 weeks, yeah. It's
Mhm.
viable after 15. Real simple. If the Supreme Court is conservative and they
Oh.
do the way it sounds like they're leaning, it will probably have a major impact on Roe versus Wade because Roe versus Wade was decided. It was strictly legislated by the Supreme Court.
Mhm.
Uh, Up to that point, it had been the state's choice, and
Mhm.
that's what this case is because this is a state enacted a law, and there is no constitutional law on the book. There's no law on the book that says abortions have to be legal across uh, all of the United States. And even if they mandated it in the if they wrote a law, it would still only apply to federal jurisdiction or federal agencies.
Right. Mhm.
It does the federal cannot supersede the state laws up to the point of well, they can't do it. There are certain laws that they can overrule, but it's just like with the marijuana thing right now. They've chosen to ignore the federal law that says marijuana is illegal,
Mhm.
you know. And
And
so this should if the court does the way it sounded like they were going,
mhm.
it doesn't overturn Roe versus Wade. What it does is it corrects what should have been the proper uh authority. It gives the choice back to the states. So what does
Mhm.
this mean? It means you go to a state if you think you got to have, and this is on elective abortions. This is not on, life threatening, life changing. This is on those people that, those ladies that for whatever reason can't keep their legs closed. and go out and get knocked up and say, "Oh my God, I had a bad night and I got drunk, so I'm going to go get get an abortion." No, this is for, this is those people there, right now, they can go and do whatever they want. But if this kicks back to where the jurisdiction is back with the states is where it should be, then they'll have to go to another state.
Uh-huh.
Besides, who wants all them loose ladies running around anyways?
And also,
Send them
they've
all to
also
California.
determined that 26 states will ban abortion to some degree. Some will
Right.
be,
And
more stringent than others.
I think what the proof was is, at 15 weeks, I think it's like the heartbeat has beat over 120,000 beats, you know,
Right.
and they're they can yawn. The fetus can yawn. It can, kick. It can, it can react, and so that's why they're going with the 15 weeks.
Right.
It was 24 weeks, and we're only one of 7 countries that do it, and the others are, North Korea, China. Uh, we're in good company with the other countries don't allow it past, uh, I think 15 weeks or 20 weeks. I think it's 15 weeks, and
Right.
we're only one of, you know. But in the case of rape and incest, yeah, abortions, I think, uh, should be considered. I don't know that it should. I'm pro-life, but there are times when it's just not. It's too traumatic for everybody, for the mother,
Mm-hmm.
and But I always look at it this way: if God doesn't want that child to be born, well, then He'll, if He thinks or if He has plans for it, you just don't know. And I think that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to give it back to the state. The state needs more control over things,
Right.
and this will set a precedence. It will not undo Roe versus Wade, but it'll correct an error that was made back in 1973.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, what
And
else did I miss?
I believe Colorado became the first state to make abortion legal. Yeah, that was back in the late 60s. Governor Love signed
Ah,
it into law. Yeah.
yeah,
I did
yeah,
not know about this until a few years ago. I'm like, wow. I mean,
yeah.
back
And
then,
I remember,
Colorado was pretty conservative. And
yeah, and I remember Governor Love very well. I
Mhm.
remember being, and I'm trying to think what years he, but yeah,
Yeah, that you
because the,
always,
the only the only reason I remember him uh is because of the joke that went with his name.
yeah.
What did the alligator say after he ate the governor? Yummy, yummy, yummy. I got love in my tummy.
Ah,
Which was a stupid, silly song that was going around at that time. And it was the
mm-hmm.
perfect joke because it was when he was running for re-election or something. I can't remember now, but yeah. Anyways,
Yeah, he got appointed. He got I think Secretary of Interior or something.
yeah, I
He
can't
got a
remember now.
cabinet position.
Yeah, he got a
And
cabinet position.
Vanderhoof became the governor.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then he lost to Governor Lamb.
Governor Lamb, I remember him as well. I remember him. Vanderhoof, I don't remember too much about,
Mhm.
but it's probably
And
because
he just passed away this year.
who did? Uh,
Governor Lamb.
Governor Lamb did. Oh wow,
Yep.
yeah, I remember him too.
Hmm.
And I'm trying to. I'll have to look back on that. But anyways, yeah, I remember Love and Lamb. Those are two names that I remember.
If you want a great website to find out that gives you a whole bunch of information on political, uh, you know, like governors and state
Governors, yeah, yeah.
legislature and national. It's called politicalgraveyard.com.
Oh,
They
okay.
got so much information. It even gives you political family. You could
Really?
trace how far back those political families,
Right.
uh, the Taft family is a pretty big dynasty, going all the way back to Ohio and the Harrisons and the
Right.
Roosevelts.
Right.
And
Right.
the biggest one would be the Rockefeller family.
Yeah. Yeah. Rockefellers. They've been. Uh,
They've been on
which
both sides of the aisle.
yes, yes, they have. They have.
Hmm.
Because Nelson was vice president under
Ford.
Ford. Yeah, that's what I was thinking under Ford. I had to stop and
Hmm.
think. Yeah, wait a minute. Yeah, because he was under Ford, and then his I don't know, brother, cousin, uncle, aunt, or whoever it was
Oh, David Rockefeller.
was it David? There was Nelson,
Yeah, he
and
was
then there's
from Arkansas.
oh, was he? Okay,
Hmm.
all right, yeah,
Yeah,
and
you're from
but
Arkansas.
one of them was a pretty liberal uh, uh, congressman or senator. Besides, Nelson was conservative, but uh, one of them was
Well,
kind of
Nelson was there
he
was a
was
faction called the Nelson Republicans, and there was the Reaganites, which were even further to the right.
right.
So
Yeah,
the Nelson Rockefeller, they were called the Rhinos.
the rhinos.
They
Yeah,
were
yeah,
squishy.
right. And but there was an yeah, because I remember some of the stuff that he uh was part of back, because when he got nominated for the position, I'm going like, I thought he
Yeah,
was on the other side, and it's because everything, and that's those are early days of my
right. Same here.
involvement in politics. Those were early days for me, and but I'd been watching and listening to politics since I was in fifth
Mhm.
grade. So
Another big family is, well, the Kennedys. They've been
Yeah,
around
Kennedys,
for quite
they've
a
been, yeah,
and the Babbitt family. They've been in politics,
right.
and the Udall family.
Udalls, yes, yeah, Mo
Yep,
Udall, and God, yeah, and they
Mo
were from
and
all over,
Stewart. Yep,
yeah, and they were from all over the country too. So
yeah,
some were in
Arizona,
Arizona,
Mexico,
Utah,
Colorado, and Utah.
yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
Because we
yeah,
had
'cause
Mark Udall was our senator, and
right,
he got
right,
beat by Cory Gardner.
yeah. I remember Mark Udall being in politics. I remember Mo because when I lived out in Arizona, uh,
Mhm.
and one of the Udalls, is he still involved down in New Mexico? I can't remember which one
Yeah,
that is.
that's Tom Udall.
Tom Udall, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, he's a congressman.
congressman
Yeah.
out of New Mexico, yeah. That's what I mean, they were I've and I can't remember which one was out of, Utah, but,
That
I
might have
can't
been
remember it.
Stewart Udall.
It might have been, yeah.
Yeah.
Was
Mhm.
it Mo that ran for president?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, this is old ti So,
Alrighty.
we
Yeah,
covered
go ahead.
the have we talked about the CNN firing of
Yeah, so
Fredo?
we're going to talk about Chris Cuomo. So, uh, earlier this week, there was some allegations or some information that came out that Chris Cuomo was actively involved in kind of helping out his big brother while he was governor of New York, trying to smear those people who brought charges against his brother.
He was using his connections, and they've got text messages, they've got all of this, and all of this stuff came out from the New York Attorney General's office. This was all released this first part of this week, and of course, after that, the poo hit the fan, and CNN, who was already dying,
Yeah.
discovered that their top number one, at least according to him or according to them, night show host was involved. He was he was giving advice to his brother, but he was also back and forth in these texts. And at one point he says, "Remember, delete this thread." So
Right.
which meant delete that string of messages because they don't want to find out. And he was actively going out, reaching out, and doing the smear campaign, and having all of his other sources in the media help out. They're all
Mhm.
culpable, but uh,
Yeah. Oh, and what gets me is CNN said he's been suspended permanently.
but he's been
Isn't that what they
he,
did
no,
with
they
Tubin
just
when he whacked
they
his weenie during a Zoom
yeah
call?
they suspended him indefinitely until last
Indefinitely,
night.
yeah.
But last night or
Yeah.
yesterday they fired him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has been fired, which makes me question what's CNN going to do, because if he was their number one and they're already in the toilet, did Fredo just reach up and pull the handle to give it a double flush now?
Ah, yeah, could be. And,
Of course,
uh,
he'll go to work for MSNBC.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
they'll hire him. They hire anybody, because if CNN's number one, PMSNBC has got to be number two of the two trashiest news networks. I
Right.
use the word news
Mhm.
very loosely.
Mhm.
It's actually an insult to news, but uh, and I'll tell you what. Here's a reach. What if Fox News hires him?
Nah, he's too far to the left. I mean, they did have, who was it? Shepard Smith with them for
Oh yeah,
quite a
yeah.
while. And
Talk about a drama queen. Every time
oh
that guy
god, he
came
was a
on,
worthless
and,
tool
and this,
way
yeah,
back.
this is my question: is why do all these tragedies and terrorist attacks always happen on his news show?
Mhm.
Because it always happened in the afternoon, while his show was on, and then he would break the news, and the crocodile tears, and this terrible. And it's just like, oh
Mhm.
my God, shut up, you weenie.
Mhm.
But anyways, yeah, and yeah, so yeah, they might, and they were trying to be fair and balanced, but fair and balanced is one thing, but smart and stupid is two different. It's obviously.
Mhm.
And they had all these smart people, and then they had Shepard Smith and Geraldo, which are the stupid people.
Yeah. Oh, and Juan
Although,
Williams too.
oh God, Juan Williams, he was you
Yeah.
know, he
Well, you heard
Juan
that,
Williams.
Jay Leno came up with a new slogan for Fox.
Oh no, what's that?
Yeah, it's called "See, I told you so."
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. You see, I told you so. Network, yeah, makes good sense. But yeah, I'm not. Obviously I didn't lose any sleep over Chris Como losing his job. You know, couldn't happen to a nicer guy. I mean,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
were they've got so many sleaze bags over there at CNN, PMSNBC, and
yeah, and yeah, and of course we
oh, they'll
can't forget.
probably get Brian Williams to fill in.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, and that who's the Don Limon?
Oh, Don Lemon, yeah, he's
That
another
guy is.
he's an
Yeah,
idiot.
I tell you who it is. I feel sorry for is not Greg Gutfield, but ah,
Oh, yeah.
who's on before Gutfield? It's on earlier in the evening on Fox News. He's
I don't know. I don't have cable, so I don't know.
oh come on, man, my mind's not working today.
Uh,
Let's see.
Fox News lineup.
Yeah, yeah, and I'll tell you the reason why. Uh, uh, let's see who it is. No.
Oh, let's see. On
Tucker
the fourth,
Carlson. Tucker Carlson.
Dr. Carlson.
I feel
Yeah.
sorry because they had a debate between Gutfield and Carlson the other day about who was worse, you know, uh, Chris Como or Don Lemon, and of course, Tucker went with Chris Como. Now, who's he going to be able to laugh at and pick on now that he doesn't have Chris Como to pick at? So it's going to put a whole new focus on his show. He's yeah, it was it was kind of hilarious, but yeah, I mean, as I said, couldn't happen to a nicer guy.
Yep.
But yeah, and I do again apologize for being late. Uh, I just plumb fell back asleep. I have no excuse, and I'm starting to perk up now. I finished my first cup of coffee,
Well, that's good. Good for you.
and the show's
I've been
almost
up
over.
since 5:30 this morning.
Why'd you get up that ungodly hour?
Well, because I do this thing called the Flight Club in the morning.
Oh yeah.
We went to Cruise Gymnasium. We went to the place where they do the Zumba, and well, they had ballroom dancers there. So we got our drones out, and we got some pretty cool footage. So hopefully this afternoon I'll be able to edit some of this down and have a nice upload this evening.
Oh, okay. Ballroom
Yeah.
dancers, huh?
Mhm.
Okay.
That's
That's
all I'm going to say is stay tuned and watch. Should
okay.
be
There you
very
go.
interesting. You saw the one where they did the bowling alley where somebody
Right,
flew a
right.
drone. Yeah,
Oh, okay. Well,
you'll be kind of like that.
ballroom dancing can be, it's kind of slow and easy going. So I guess
Hmm.
you don't have to be. Yeah, yeah. I got uh, he was a pretty good friend. We don't see him much anymore because he's retired and moved off to I
Hmm.
don't know. He lives in Texas part of the time and lives up in the mountains of New Mexico the rest of the time. Spends his summers in the mountains in New Mexico and then spends his winters down in Texas.
Hmm.
Him and his wife do, and they go all over the country down there, ballroom dancing. Yeah, they come up to Oklahoma to visit some family up here uh, during a month or so. But yeah, uh,
Hmm.
I look forward to seeing that. So
Yeah, it should be pretty good.
yeah,
Hey,
so
you remember Michael D. Brown, former FEMA director?
yeah.
He's from Guyman, Oklahoma.
Oh yeah, that's right. He is.
Hmm. Yep.
Yeah, I
And
remember that
he's a
now.
talk show host here in Denver. He does the 6 to 10 o'clock on
Oh,
KHOW, KHOW.
W. Yeah,
So
yeah.
I listen to him for 3 hours, and I switch over to Ross Kaminsky. He's from 9 to noon, and then
Okay.
Mandy Connell, noon to 3.
Yeah, I need to actually get an app where I can listen to some of those shows. But that's one thing I get with my new van. It's got Sirius XM on it, and yeah, I get it's weird because it apparently what they do is whenever they sell it, they reset everything and they put in. And I turned it on, and there was a thing, okay, accept and whatever, and then all of a sudden they start playing. Then I get a letter from them saying, "Well, you've got 3 months of free Sirius XM, and then if you download this app, you get it." So I've got 6 months of free Sirius XM,
Ah, right.
and
Cool.
and I'll probably keep it. But yeah,
Hmm, cool.
so
Hmm.
I've been listening to a lot of Fox News because I can listen to it. Yeah, I listen to my local Fox station, but then I flip over to the satellite and listen to Fox News. So and so that's I get to hear because I don't watch Fox News. I
Yeah,
catch some of their
me
stuff
neither.
on I catch it on YouTube. I catch the highlights, which to me is the
Yep,
best
that's
part.
what I do too.
Yeah.
Well, Lloyd, we did an hour. We managed to bang out an hour, just the two of us. I want to thank you for popping in and kind of saved me from speaking for a whole hour by myself.
Man, yeah, we'll see you, Chris.
Oh, Mason just got the
Mason, you just got
notice.
notice. Oh man, I don't know what's
Uh,
with the notices sometimes because that happens to
well,
me.
well, it's like a TV guide. You got to remember this show is on at 12 Pacific, 1 Mountain, 2 Central, 3
For
Eastern
Eastern.
time.
Yeah,
That's real easy to
and
remember.
you got to remember to set your alarm if you're going to be on the show.
Yeah,
Which
that is right. That is. Oh, and
I had.
Mike was on my show last night.
Oh, was
Mike
he?
wrote.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, your last words, Lloyd.
Remember to set your alarm, folks. Otherwise, you'll sleep your life away.
Treat each other the way you like to be treated.
That's right. Be kind, treat each other the way you want to be treated. Remember, everybody is important. You know, everybody matters, including sleepy old farts like me.
Well, folks in the chat, thank you for coming in. It's a light show today. Well, heavy topic, but light show. So thanks again, and we'll see you next week. And oh, Grant, you're a little late. So take care, everybody. God bless you, and see you next week. Bye bye.